How are you guys doing? If you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not, welcome back. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about the transition from as a transition into high school as a student as a person or a child or a student coming from another country, specifically from an African country. As somebody who is moving to the United States and you want to have an idea of how the high school system is in the United States, you are in the right place. So first of all, we're gonna start off by identifying the grades and like the grade of and how they identify their classes here. In the United States, they say grades. It's like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and they have 12 grades. We have from grade 1 unto grade 12, and it is separated as what we would say primary school in Cameroon, or other parts they will say elementary school. So elementary school is grade 1 to grade 5, and they have middle school, which is grade 6 to grade 8, and then they have high school, which is grade 9 until 12th grade. In high school, they have this thing where they also have like different names for like in high school and in college, since it's both 4 years, they have like these names. As I was saying, in high school, you have 4 years of high school. So they have like different names for each person, like each class. For ninth graders, they call them freshmen. For 10th graders, they call them sophomores. For 11th graders, they call them juniors. And for 12th graders, which is the final grade in grade school, they call them seniors. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys like a perspective or like an idea of how the public school system is in the United States. They have the private and they have the public. But if you just want to have an idea of how the high school system works here in the United States, like I said earlier on, you're in the right place. So we're going to start with like the school rules and code of conduct. Most of the high schools that are in this Most of the schools in general in the United States do wear clothes to school. Elementary school, middle school, and high school. But for the most part, high school students do wear uniforms. Like a lot of the high schools, well, not a lot, but like if you see a school that has uniform that is not a private school, as a public school, it's mostly like the high schools that wear uniforms. You do not wear uniforms to school, you wear clothes. But in my high school, we had uniforms, which was kind of, for me, preferably, I would love to have uniforms to school because I'm in college now and it's hard to coordinate even the simplest outfits to wear. So if I had a uniform that I just had to wash and dry it up and iron it and wear it every time, that would be great. But also, in high school, because they have mostly clothes and uniforms, there's a lot of competition going on there. And you can wear whatever footwear. It doesn't matter if they have uniforms or not. Their footwear is, you wear whatever you want for their footwear, and you know how that goes, So yeah. And another topic that we're going to be talking about is the cultural shock that you will receive when you attend high school in the United States. First of all, for one, is the educational system, like their curriculum and all that other stuff. In my country, precisely, we do math. In math, in like a term or something, you're doing like algebra, trigonometry, geometry, all in math, But here in high school, they break it down for like a term or a semester. Also, that's one thing too. In the United States of America, we say semesters and not terms. In Cameroon, we have 3 terms. First term, second term, and third term. In the United States, we have 2 semesters. First semester and the second semester. We call it fall semester, which is from ending August, September until December. And then second semester, and then we have the spring semester, which is from like January for high school students and like students in grade school until June. Yes, until June. We might have like a week in between the semester break, but that's the most you're gonna get. For college students, it is from ending January, February until May. That's the difference. Also, as I was saying, they give you math per semester. Like they have like I don't know how much, but like I got up to like algebra 3. So they have like algebra 1, algebra 2, algebra 3, I would say, but I just did and then they have geometry 1, geometry 2, and like 3 and all that, and they have trigonometry 1, trigonometry 2, and trigonometry 3, and so on. So that's one thing, like they break everything down to make you digest it in this country. They will break it down for you. And also, they have it like English, math, science, and then like you have like electives, like some arts classes and all that stuff, which I think it's like similar, but except we have like compulsory subjects, and we have like subjects that you will choose, regardless of if you're arts or science. In high school, from high school, you choose to do if you want to do arts or science in other countries, especially Cameroon, when I'm from. But in the US, you really don't. You just do math, science, English, and then you have a couple of electives, but it's not like you're a science student or you're an art student. You just do the subjects, And they also have like an AP system where it just like prepares you for college level, something like AP Physics, AP Math, AP English, AP Literature. It's just like college level classes that prepare you for college, or you can get credit for it when you get to college. Also, I mentioned earlier about the cultural difference that we have in the US. I talked about the cultural difference was like, how they do their educational system here, another culture, and then how they dress. They don't necessarily have uniforms. Some schools do, but they don't necessarily have uniforms. Like here, the only thing that they would normally talk about is your clothes that you wear on your body. Obviously, you have to have they have a dress code. Even if you can wear your house clothes, you have a dress code. You have to dress. Like they're not strict with the dress code. When I say dress code, it's more so like don't wear like something like really really short or more revealing. That's mostly it. If you want to wear ripped jeans, you can wear ripped jeans and whatever. But in African culture and like American culture, they're not gonna let you wear. But another thing that they also have in their high school is they're allowed to use their phones. You're allowed to bring your phone to school, not necessarily use it in class, but if you're going to let them bring their phones to school, of course, they're going to use it in class, I remember when I first came here and I was so excited. I was preparing for school and I was talking to my friend and she was like, oh yeah, do not forget to bring your phone and your headphones to school because you're going to need it. And in my mind, I'm like, why will I need my phone in school? I was thinking maybe I was going to have to sneak it in and keep it in my pocket. Maybe during some kind of break or on my way back home or my way to school, I could use it. But you can use your phones. Like literally everybody's on their phones. Like literally everybody has headphones on. Nobody's like, everybody, like you're allowed to bring your phones to school in high school. And you're allowed to use them. Not when a teacher is talking though, but if a teacher is not in class or you don't have any work you're doing at that time, you can use your phone in class. That was like a really big shock for me because I was like, no way that I actually can bring my phone to school this time and not have to hide it. And also for context, I left from a boarding school back home before I came here. So I wasn't really familiar with like a day's school in like the upper class. I just left from like being in a boarding school and coming up here and being in not a boarding school. So it was like also it was like a learning process for somebody who has been in boarding school for like 5 years of their higher level education. So yes. And then also another cultural shock I got was like the amount of disrespect that is thrown at teachers in class. I do not want to be a devil's advocate and say, and like be on the teacher's side, but I know because we all know that some teachers can really be annoying, but the kind of disrespect that is thrown at teachers in this country by the parents and the students is crazy. So we have talked about like that, and we've talked about like the culture shock and stuff like that you're gonna get. Now we're gonna talk about the grading system. Back home in my country, it was obviously over 10 or over 100, however you want to do it, and 50% was considered half. I think when you get a 50, you get like a pass. You know, a 50 is a pass. I think it's a C. But in the United States, if you get half, you failed. If you get 50 over 100, it's an F. They're not playing with you. They're not even gonna like. If you get 50, you failed. You didn't even get half. That's not even a D. That's an F. So they have like from 90 to 100. Depending on the teachers, for the most part, like 99% of the time. Well, for like some teachers, we're gonna tell you 95 to 100 is like an A, 90 to 95 is like a B, and then 85 to 90 is a C, and 80 to 95 is like a D and something like that. That's like very rare, but for the most part, 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, and 60 to 69 is a D, and then anything below that is an F. So, you know how we used to scramble to get a 51 over 100 in our test? Or if it's over 20, you were trying to get like a 20, a 10 out of 20, or like 11 out of 20. No. If you do that here, you failed. You literally are going to have like a big, fat, giant F on your paper. So that is the grading system in the United States, which I think is kind of like, it's stressful because it's just stressful as somebody who moved here. But it's a good thing because, like I said earlier on, they will literally chop off the curriculum and like give us like little sections in like math or like English or like history, you know. And like in our school, in math was math. You're doing algebra. This week it's algebra. The next week is geometry. The next week is trigonometry. Before you know it, you're even doing calculus. And it's like all that in one semester, in like one term, you know. But here they're gonna give you algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry 1. So I think it kind of balances out. But I would rather do algebra 1 my entire semester than the entire math curriculum, literally. But yeah, that's how they grade in, for the most part, in the United States. So we've spoken too much about the woos and like the cultural difference that is shocking, that is not too good. Now we're gonna talk about the one that is actually good. In high school in the United States, we actually have a lot of services that are there to render to the students. On top of the fact that the students are already so disrespectful, but a lot of us go through so much at home that it could be a factor as to why they're behaving the way that they are in school, you know. And because of those factors and how children are, you know, behave in school, they have a lot of services to help their students, and which I feel like it's really important for every school in every country to implement, because you never know that you need to talk to somebody until you talk to somebody and you feel absolutely good. Okay? We had school counselors, we had nurses, we had international coordinators that are there to help you and cater to your needs, you know? That most of them are not biased. They're not. When you go to your counselor, you're not going there. I mean, you're going there as a kid that has issues, but you're not going there as a troubled child. And your counselor is there to do absolutely anything and everything in their power to help you. You know, they're gonna do everything in their power to help you, which I think is a very good system to implement, because, like I said, you don't know that you need to talk to somebody until you actually talk to somebody and you feel like relieved. So I have so many courses that are also gonna like help the students, you know, like courses that will help you apply for. I remember I was giving a course that helped me apply for colleges, that taught me how to apply for colleges and like what to look for and like the tools to use when applying for college, which was really, really important. Another aspect that they have is in high school in my country, Cameroon, and I feel like for most other African countries, we have what we call the GCE, which is like a government exam that we write that is going to determine if you're going to go. In secondary school, you have a government exam that you write, the GCE ordinary level that you write that is going to determine if you're going to go to high school. And in high school, you have the GCE advanced level that is going to determine if you're going to go to university. In the United States, it's called the SAT and the ACT. Most importantly, the SATs, because that's the ones that we take. But SATs is just don't really determine if you're going to go to college, because colleges that don't really care for your SATs, and there's colleges that care for your SATs. So if you pass and you don't pass really good, you pass really good, there's colleges that they're going to take you. You're guaranteed to go to college. And for the final one is like the athletic department for like high school students. In this country, they will actually encourage you if you're really good in like a certain sports or so. They will actually encourage you to pursue that talent, and also they will advise you to pursue that talent, but you still have to have a certain level of GPA requirement, because in case you get injured, because sports is brutal, and also in the bigger picture of the sports system, if you get injured, nobody's gonna want you, no coach, no team is gonna need you, gonna want you anymore. So they always make sure that they implement that you can follow your dreams all you want to be, to play for college or high school, to play for a certain sport, but you have to have a certain they have a GPA. Each school has its own GPA requirements that you have to keep up with if you want to play in sports in high school. And they actually do encourage your talent. But I think that it's very important to let them know that you can do both. If you want to do the other one, you have to be good at the other one. Tell them like you have to have something to come back to, because there's only so much your body can take as an athlete as well. You get older. It's only so much that your body can take, and you should always have something to come back to, fall back on when you retire as sports, and just in the long run, because you never know what might happen. But thank you so much for tuning in. That is the little piece and bits of what I have as an advice if you're planning on if you just came and you're going to high school in this country. Good luck. You can do it. And stay blessed, stay tuned, and stay looking out for another lit video. Peace.